Good evening, everyone. It's your girl, Jay Rene with Prison Riot Radio. I hope that you're doing well. This evening, we have a mother that's down in Texas that has some things that's going on with her children, some injustices. It's much deeper than that, but we're going to start there with the things that are going on with her children, okay? So, hello there. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for asking, and thank you for being here this evening to talk to us about what's going on, not only with your children, but in Texas where you are.
Absolutely.
Okay, so can you let everyone know where in Texas you are?
I'm in Killeen, Texas.
Okay, and Killeen, that's out there by the military bases, correct?
Yes, Fort Hood military base. Yep, it's Bell County.
Okay, so you currently have 2 children that are incarcerated, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I have one that is in the Bell County jail, and then the other is in the Killeen Youth Detention Center. It's Bell County Juvenile Services.
Okay, and when did they go in to these facilities?
My son was arrested June 23rd of 2020.
Okay, and how old was he?
He was 15.
15 years old. And how about your daughter?
She was 19. Well,
Okay.
she was 18 when she got arrested.
Okay, so what are the charges that, do they both have the same charges or do they have different ones?
My daughter they've charged her 2 different ways. They've charged her with capital murder, and they've charged her with murder of the same, offense, you know? So they charged her 2 different ways. It's still the same. They're accused of killing the same person. So my son has a capital murder case, and then my daughter has capital murder and murder.
Okay, so I know that in our previous talks you were saying how there was no evidence that even links them to this crime. Is that correct?
Yes. So my son, I've asked them to show me evidence, show me his fingerprints at the scene, show me a murder weapon, show me that he's fired a gun recently. They don't have none of that. So my thing is, how do you charge someone with capital murder when there's no physical evidence? The one person that says that my son did this failed a lie detector test, and he was a suspect before. He was took in and questioned 4 different times. The first 2 times he said that no, he could not identify my son as the shooter. Then he was took in a 3rd time. He failed a lie detector test, and then he was took in a 4th time, and he said that my son was the shooter. They only asked him 3 questions on the lie detector test, and not once did they ask him any questions about my son. They asked him if he was the shooter, did he help facilitate anything that happened that day, and was he a part of anything that happened that day? So my thing is, once he failed a lie detector test, how is he even credible?
Yeah, I agree with you there. And you said it took, so many times for him to, get the story straight.
Right.
So
absolutely.
So why do you think that they put this charge on your son with no evidence and no real, witnesses?
I think he's just a fall guy. I don't think they really care who did it. I think they charged both of my kids prematurely, and now they have to. Killeen's known for their incompetence. They're withholding evidence. They're fabricating evidence. Like if you look into Killeen altogether, they're known for that. And especially against Black people. Look at Marvin Guy. There's several others. If you look it up, that people of color or people of mixed races, this goes on with in Bell County. So I think there was a lot of pressure from all the soldiers getting killed on Fort Hood and the police department not doing anything. And so they had to make an arrest on this case, and they didn't do the proper work before they made the arrest. So now they've got to keep going with what they started,
Right.
They don't want to look more incompetent, and I believe they know they arrested the wrong person, but they're going to cover that up at all costs.
Right. So when it comes to your daughter, did this guy that was a witness, did he test, or did he, say he's seen her as well, or identify her?
No. They're saying that she is guilty of the party laws in Texas. They know she didn't kill nobody.
Okay.
But they say because of the party laws, she's guilty.
So what's the party law? I don't think many is.
It says that I don't know it word for word, but they're basically saying if me and you get in a car, even though I don't know if you're going to do something, we go to a store, you rob a store. Okay. And because I'm the driver, I get charged as well.
Okay, I understand what you're saying now. This the same way that they won't charge police officers when it happens, but they want to do it to everybody else. Okay. Yep. So, I know this got to be frustrating, and amongst other things, what's going on as far as assisting your children to, gain their freedom again because they're innocent.
Nothing. And this is what really bothers me the most. If you look up the guy that they're accused of killing, okay, he has a record. Yes, he's a soldier, but he also has a record. He was busted in 2018 in a massage parlor that was suspected of human trafficking. This soldier got aggressive with the police when they tried to arrest him. He assaulted them. He fought with them. So my thing is, we don't know. I wasn't there. You wasn't there. We don't know what happened. But supposedly there's text messages where this man was trying to buy my kids.
What?
And if that is the case, yes. Supposedly there's text messages where the man was trying to buy my kids. And if that is the case, how is anybody not trying to be fun? And I'm just being honest. If he's out here buying kids for sexual stuff, which he got on a Skip the Game's website and solicited for sex after being busted in the massage parlor in 2018, okay? So he didn't learn his lesson from doing that kind of stuff. He's setting it up to do it again. To at least solicit somebody for sex.
Right.
How do we know he's not a trafficker?
Yeah.
How do we know that he wasn't? They're saying it was robbery gone bad. Mm-hmm. If somebody was really trying to rob this man, would they have left an Apple Watch on his wrist? Would they have left a 2000 something Dodge Charger there with a wallet in it with money in it, drugs in the car? If you was going there to rob somebody, would you not get that stuff?
It definitely sounds like something is not adding up. Wow. So you said that there allegedly there are text messages of him trying to purchase your children?
Yeah, supposedly he had saw my daughter and wanted to buy my daughter instead of the person he was there to supposedly have sex with for money.
Wow, I know that has to be so scary as a mother.
Well, and that's the thing. My daughter was already a victim of human trafficking. She had a nationwide bolo out on her from the FBI, so she already had trauma from all of that. And instead of investigating any of it, I took pictures that I found on the 24-year-old's Instagram, I think it is.
And who is the 24-year-old? This is the female you was telling me about, correct?
Yes. So this is Breezy Collier, is her name. And if you look her up, it's DA_LILBABY. You can see pictures after pictures after pictures of her. Go check it out yourself and just look. That's all I want to say about it, Okay. I looked at them and I took what I found off of there to the Killeen Police Department. And they told me that there's nothing they can do. Until those girls make a cry out, there's nothing they can do. And I'm like, human trafficking rings get busted all the time, and nobody makes a cry out.
Yeah.
So, and then he went into detail, and he was like, I've been here for 3 years, and this was when the kids first got arrested. So this was back in 2020. He said, I've been here for 3 years, and I've never charged nobody with human trafficking. He said, I charged them with prostitution or coercion to prostitute. He said, I don't have the know-how, the manpower, or the time to try to build those type of cases.
Wow. So is this like, okay, so for him to say that says a lot. Is there this type of thing that's going on in that area? Like, is this...
Absolutely. It goes on way more than people even know about. There's another little girl that was in the facility where my son is, that she had stole a car to get away from the people that was trafficking her. And instead of charging the people that had her for trafficking, they charged her for stealing the car.
Wow.
So it makes me wonder, and I'm just being honest, when I say this, how do you know? Are they getting kickbacks from stuff like this? Is that why they don't want to investigate it? Is that why they don't want to charge nobody? I don't understand. And until this day, they have text messages where this 24-year-old was having sex with my 15-year-old son.
Wow, and no charges. They never.
No charges have been filed against her. Now I got a call when I was on the news, and when I was in the newspaper. I got a call not long after that saying, "Oh, we're going to charge her," and still nobody's been charged.
Wow! And how long ago?
And it's going on 2 years now.
2 years.
This coming up June will be 2 years. And mind you, my son was 14 when it took place. Because he just turned 15 right before he got arrested.
Wow. So she was definitely, I know for sure that the age of consent isn't that, that low. That's absolutely outrageous. Wow.
Right.
So tell us how we can, help support you and help support your kids and getting justice to y'all. Because I know, exposure is everything, but...
Absolutely. I just want to bring awareness to it. I want to bring awareness to how the district attorney works in Killeen. Mm-hmm. It's not just my kid's case. How many other cases have you turned a blind eye to evidence that was not there, and you just went ahead and prosecuted them anyway? How many have you don't care about innocence or guilt? You just want to get that, that win, that conviction, but you're not thinking about lives. That's kids' lives.
Yeah.
So, if we can find people that's willing to stand up and fight for them, that would be amazing.
How are your children doing? How are they doing, like, emotionally and physically?
Well, my son, I can tell you he's having a lot of issues because he has been abused inside the facility, and he has been still to this day. He's on isolation. He's been that way since March of last year. So this March will be 1 year that he's not been able to have any contact with anybody.
Right.
They're not getting the treatment that they need. They're institutionalizing my son, especially. What is his life going to look like if he were to get out?
Right.
He's not going to be able to be around people anymore.
Yeah, it's laws against that for doing that to adult men. So, doing it to
kids,
minors and kids and children.
Yeah.
Like, I can only imagine how much more deeply that's impactful,
Yeah.
So how's your daughter hanging in there?
She's hanging in there. She's still not getting the medication that she needs. She was diagnosed once we brought her home. She was diagnosed with PTSD, Stockholm Syndrome, a lot of different diagnoses, and she's not able to take the medicine in Bell County because the medicine they put you on, which is lithium, they're supposed to check your liver enzymes. Them checking your liver is what tells them if you're therapeutic or non-therapeutic levels, and they would never take her to get her lithium levels checked. So she quit taking the medicine altogether because she was having nosebleeds and didn't know why. She was hurting really bad and didn't know why.
Right.
And because they wouldn't give her the medical treatment that she needed, she said, you know what, I'm not going to take it no more. So she's not being treated, and it don't matter how many times she fills out to try to talk to psych, they don't come around, or they come around and they want to put you back on the same medicine that you was already on. And she's like, I'm not taking that because you're not going to take me over there every 2 weeks to get my lithium level checked. So
right.
She's dealing with it the best way she can,
Yeah. And how are you doing, Mom?
Hanging in there. You do a lot of praying and you just hope for the best. So
yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna make sure that I get this out. Is there anything that you want to leave the listeners and viewers with?
I just want to, this has really affected my life. I never knew that our system was so broken. I used to think that if you didn't do nothing wrong, you didn't have nothing to worry about. And that's a lie. That couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah. Well, you said a mouthful there. I appreciate you for, sharing with us what's going on. We're definitely going to get this information out there, so hopefully we can get justice for your children, your son and your daughter, and to bring some light to what's going on there. The sex trafficking thing, I know that a lot of the military is involved. So it's a lot that's going on down there. I hope that we can talk about that more in the future.
Anytime you're ready, I'm ready. I will, Karina Rising is working with my children. It's a nonprofit organization that is for human trafficking victims. And common threads, the courts. So get this, the courts is allowing common threads to work with my children. So if they didn't feel that my kids were victims of human trafficking, why are they allowing common threads to work with them?
Right.
So
well, hopefully we can get to the bottom of it and get the justice that your children deserve and the others that are affected by that, by the human trafficking.
Absolutely.
And the corrupt judicial system, because it's a lot of that as well.
Yes, ma'am. Sure is. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome.